Am I the jerk for telling my fiancé to leave our own engagement party after she insulted my sister for once being an escort and a high school dropout? 34-year-old male. When I was 14, my parents passed away in a car accident. We had a great aunt who was still alive, but she lived hours away and was considered too old and sickly to have custody of minors. My sister, 39-year-old female Kate, was 19, so she was given custody of me and our little sister. To prevent us from becoming homeless and being thrown in foster care, Kate left school and worked as an escort. Doing that on top of a cashier job was the only way she could adequately pay our rent and buy food for us. It was only for a short time, as it allowed Kate to get enough money to take courses and become certified as a hairstylist. Kate eventually was able to get a GED and now owns her beauty salon. But Kate admits her time as an escort was the darkest point in her life, and me and our little sister have never forgotten the sacrifice Kate made for us. At our engagement party, me and my fiancée, 32-year-old female Lily, were talking to Kate and her husband John. Kate talked about she and John planning a Hawaiian vacation and wanting to go this year with my nephew, 2-year-old Philip. But they decided it would be better to just save for a few more years and focus some of their money on repairs for the salon. I agreed that it would also be better to wait because Philip will be older and able to remember and appreciate the trip. But then Lily sneered at Kate and said how if you want extra money, you can always quit the salon and go back to being a whore for a living. Not like anywhere else can trust a high school dropout with a job. Kate started crying and John led her away to comfort her. I told Lily to go somewhere else immediately. I didn't care where she went. Just leave so I didn't have to look at her. Lily argued, but I snapped at her to get out of my sight until she left. My future in-laws are calling me heartless and cruel towards Lily. They say that Lily's going to be my wife soon, so I can't just send her away every time we have a disagreement, and should have done the mature thing by talking rather than publicly sending her away and humiliating Lily. I realize what I did was humiliating to Lily, and it was not the greatest way to handle the situation, but I'm still struggling to look at Lily after knowing she thought those things of Kate. Was I the jerk for sending Lily away? Am I the jerk for deliberately telling my future mother-in-law the wrong name of our baby? I, 23-year-old female, and my fiancé, 25-year-old male, are expecting a baby girl next month. We're really excited as this is our first child and we've been trying to prepare for parenthood. A lot of our family have been helping us with baby stuff and giving us general advice. They're also really super excited for her. Especially my future mother-in-law. She's a very stubborn person and hasn't really accepted me as a part of the family yet. She always tells my fiancé how he could do so much better than me and that he's fallen into the trap of having my child. It's hurt me a lot, and my fiancé has had a talk to her about it, but she still hasn't apologized or anything, so I just tend to ignore it now. She's also one of them moms who posts every little detail of their life to Facebook, like when my fiancé proposed, she was straight to Facebook before we could announce it ourselves. Recently me and my fiancé have been coming up with names for our little girl, and we both decided on the perfect name. A few days ago on a phone call, my fiancé accidentally slips up by telling my future mother-in-law that we've chosen a name. She's been non-stop messaging us and calling us to find out the name. We don't want to tell her until the baby is born so that it doesn't ruin the surprise and the whole of Facebook finds out before we are comfortable telling everyone. She tried guilt-tripping my fiancé by telling him how he's hurting her by not telling his own mother the name of her grandchild, that he doesn't love him, and that we, especially me, are gonna try and keep her from seeing the baby. I'm not sure why she would think that, as nothing we have said has suggested it. To stop her from getting on my fiancé's back, I wrote a message saying that if she wants to know she can't post it on Facebook. She agreed, and I told her a fake name. 5 minutes later into checking Facebook. I can't believe I'm going to be a granny to baby Charlotte next month. So proud of fiancé's name and his partner. My fiancé was furious and called her and told her that she was wrong to announce it. She said that she was so overjoyed by it that she couldn't resist. He told her how that wasn't even the name and that we aren't going to tell her until she's born, and hung up. It's been a few days and my fiancé has been getting texts from her saying that she didn't mean and that I'm the jerk for telling her the wrong name. Her words were, "Who even tells their future mother-in-law the wrong name of their grandchild? Am I the jerk? Am I the jerk for making our guests participate in our puppet-themed wedding?" My fiancé 26-year-old female and I 27-year-old male met at college. We were in our school's performing arts program and met in a puppetry class. In the class, we designed our own puppets. Mine, named Hat Boy, and my fiancée, Daisy, she's better with names, were what we initially used to talk to each other and flirt in class. We fell in love, and in a way, we've considered Hat Boy and Daisy in love as well. Years after graduating, we still use Hat Boy and Daisy both at home, and at our local, but fairly prominent, theater where we perform puppet shows with high-end, Muppet-style puppets. While planning our wedding, we realized we wanted Hat Boy and Daisy to be a part of the ceremony. They've been a part of us since the beginning, and it just felt right. We also invited our entire troupe of puppeteers from the theater and got the idea that we should have our wedding completely officiated by puppets and that our wedding parties would be made up of puppets, and our closest puppeteer friends. We figure it'll make for incredible pictures. Here's where we aren't sure if we're a jerk or not. We're insisting that all of our guests also participate and use puppets. Instead of gifts, we've asked everyone to purchase high quality, but not nearly the quality of professional puppets to use during our wedding. We took the guesswork out of it and directed them to several vendors, some of who offer some really cool options. Everyone could realistically expect to spend $150 to $500 depending on what sort of details and whatnot they wanted. We also want everyone to wear their puppets during the entire wedding and reception. All puppets we're suggesting can be mounted on and controlled with one hand. The puppets are meant to be guests at the wedding in the same way all of our human guests are as well. Well, let's just say, there are a lot of people not happy. Both of our parents, my wife's sister, and family members on both sides have complained that this is completely unreasonable. They're concerned about how are they going to eat and drink. How are they going to dance? You don't need hands to dance, so I don't know where this complaint came from. We of course don't expect people to have their puppet on their hand while in the bathroom, but everywhere else, we'd really like to insist on it. We also made sure that our hors d'oeuvres are all finger foods. There will be plenty of cocktail tables so people can put down their drinks. We even made sure that all of the food for the dinner itself is portioned so that it can be eaten in bite sizes just with a fork without having to use a knife. We really think this would make for a special day. We only get to do it once and think that it will be an event that all of our guests will remember for a lifetime. We have a hard time believing that once there, they wouldn't have a blast. So Reddit, are we jerk for making what we think is a silly but harmless and reasonable request for our one special day? Thanks for reading.